Hi, fourth graders. All right, today we are going to start learning about factors. So factors, there's the definition, numbers that are multiplied together. So an example is 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 and 4 would be your factors. The product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So if we come back up here to 2 times 4 equals 8, we see that 8 is the answer, so 8 is our product. Factor pairs are the set of two numbers that are multiplied together to make a certain number. So if we took 8 as our certain number, then our factor pairs would be 2 times 4. So I'm going to put that right in here. I ran out of space. So the factor pairs of 8 would be 2 times 4, 1 times 8. Those are factor pairs, the set of two numbers. A factor tree is a graph using factor pairs to get all of the prime numbers of a given number. So let's come follow our line. 20 is our number. So I'm going to pick any two numbers that equal 20, and so I picked 10 and 2. Well, I know that nothing besides 1 and 2 equal 2, so 2 is a prime number, so I circled it. Prime number means it only has one factor pair, and that's it. And that factor pair is 1 times the number. Then I take 10. I know that 5 times 2 equals 10. So I put 5 and 2 underneath my 10. I know that only 1 times 2 equals 2, so that's only one factor pair, so it's a prime number. I know that only 1 times 5 equals 5, so that's a factor pair of only one factor pair, so I circle that, that's a prime number. When you do factor trees, then you take all of your circled prime numbers and you multiply them together. So 2 times 5 equals 20. All right, let's use arrays to help us with our multiplication and finding factors. So here's the problem. Find all factor pairs for 12 using arrays and express in a number sentence. So let's look at this array. I did one row of 12 x's. That is 1 times 12 or 12 times 1. So there's one factor pair. I did 6 rows of 2 x's. So this would be 2 times 6 or 6 times 2. That is 2 factor pairs. And then I did 4 rows of 3 x's. So that would be considered 4 times 3 or 3 times 4. Now, the commutative property says switching the position of the numbers and you still get the same answer. That is called the commutative property. So if I took 6 times 2 and switched the position to 2 times 6, I still get the same answer. 6 times 2 is 12, 2 times 6 is 12. All I did was switch them around. That's commutative. Factor rainbows are another way we're going to learn how to do factor pairs. And this is by making a rainbow using your factors. So it says find all factor pairs for 12. So let's write those down. So we know 1 times 12 equals 12, 2 times 6 equals 12, and 4 times 3 equals 12. Now, first one says, list the factors in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to take all of the numbers I wrote down and list them in order from least to greatest. So least means smallest, so 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Now it says draw an arch that connects the factor pairs. So 1 matched 12, so I'm going to draw an arch from 1 to 12. 2 went with 6, so 2 matches 6. And 4 matched 3, so I'm going to match those. And now we have our factor rainbow. Mental math. All mental math is knowing that you can take some multiplication problems and do them in your head without even having to write them down or use arrays or factor rainbows. So if I knew my multiplication facts, I could say, find all factor pairs for 12. Well, I know 1 times 12 is 12. I also know that 2 times 6, so I'm doing all of this in my head. And I know 3 times 4. Now there are going to be some numbers that I give you to find factors on that are not going to be able to be done in your head because they have 10 or 12 factor pairs. So you're going to have to use them. You're going to have to use them in arrays or rainbows. And sorry about that interruption. So here's your work it out. Using the array and the factor rainbow. So I want you to do both. You're going to use the arrays and you're then going to make a factor rainbow after you find all of your arrays. You're going to find all the factor pairs of 18. Write 2 sentences to explain your reasoning.